They about to look at the shit that I'm on. Why don't we get in topic? Crew looking like Pentatonics, locked in, recording in tropics. And the East Big 3, Big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics. We lit, never thought about it. Cause they about to look at the shit that I'm on. Why don't we get in topics? In a way back, all black, I'm talking. Feeling like Shaq, I weigh my options. And the East Big 3, Big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics. It's saucy, all the projects. It's saucy.
What is up? What is up? What is up? RCR Presents MSD Sports, and we back at it for episode 16. My name is Sam, also known as YPK, and we got Mikey, and we got Camden, and let's go MSD Sports. Mikey, introduce yourself. Mikey, introduce yourself.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Michael John. We coming from you from the 02135. We back at it, episode number 16. You know what it is. Happy Friday. Set it off, y'all.
Yes, sir. Camden, what is up?
What's going on? It's your boy Camden Lee, a.k.a. Mr. Club Paradise, and you know what it is. I'm with the greatest trio ever assembled. RCR Presents MSD Sports. Ooh. I'm with the crew. It's supposed to be a huge episode tonight. Yes, and you know what? The weekend's about to unfold. You know what I'm saying? Christmas is in a couple days. So... But we got it, YBK. We got something special popping tonight. Yes, sir.
So
today, let them know what's going on.
We gonna run it through with the agenda. Last week was NBA, but this episode, Super Bowl. Let's go. But we got one thing to say. We got a special guest here, Mikey. Sure. You want to introduce us to that special guest?
Of course. Coming to you from the Beantown, we got the homie Sean Doe in the spot representing his very own podcast, Parlay with Us, representing Boston. So shout out Mr. Bean, shout out Stony Crook, shout out Hustle Stacks, and shout out my guy Sean Doe. Thanks for joining us, bro. If you want to introduce yourself, please.
Yo, man, honestly, bro, it's an honor to be here with you guys, man. I appreciate y'all, man. And I do watch not only Mike's my boy, you know, we off camera, we brothers, man. But he told me what was going on. I do see your clips on social media, and I love it. So he asked me to come on, so it really is an honor to be here, man. I love sports and I love talking it, and I'm like, what the better place to be with my brothers for the weekend, Super Bowl weekend.
Let's go.
Yes,
appreciate y'all joining us, and you know Sean about to come with us with the expertise when we come talk about some betting lines and gambling a little later on, but we gotta set this off, Sam. Set the stage.
Yes, sir.
What's going on this Sunday?
You already know what's going on. We got Super Bowl 59 coming in 3 days on Sunday, February 9th. Kicks off at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern at the New Orleans Saints home ground, the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we got the Kansas City Chiefs going for that three-peat versus the Philadelphia Eagles, trying for that revenge match against the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. Let's talk about this. This is going to get juicy, everybody. Let's kick it off, everybody. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness, guys. Can you believe it? It's the end of the NFL season. We are in the final week. I know most of you guys have been so sad. I know a lot of fathers, a lot of husbands, a lot of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even me. Listen, I know I can't be my Sundays can't be taken over no more. This is it. This is the last Sunday of the year. So I am so excited. I'm so amazed. I mean, I gotta ask. You know what I mean? We got our special guest in the building.
Oh.
You know, Sean, how do we feel about this matchup? You know what I mean? We've seen it before. We're back for another one. But we got a couple different characters popping in. Sure. You know what I mean? Talk to me. Well, how are we feeling about this matchup, my brother?
You guys want to know? You know what? So we don't like the past, but I gotta look at a little bit. I gotta go back to the Buffalo matchup. And this is what, in my opinion, hey, they're here. I'm not hating. I'm a Patriots fan, but I feel as though if they kept running with my brother, Mr. Cooks, I don't think that would. I think it wouldn't even have been. It wouldn't have been a game. Obviously, I think they wanted, in my opinion, they wanted Josh Allen to slay the demons. They wanted him to rush for the 1 yard. They wanted him to be the victor. Put him on his. They put Cooks on the sideline. They put a third down back in, go for 4 for 1. You knew he was gonna sneak, whether he had a first down or not. That's whatever. I don't care. So fast forward to this. Their strength is their running back, and James Cook ain't Saquon Barkley. So if they stick to their game plan, in my opinion, it's gonna be the battle of. It's gonna be the running game, but you know what's gonna happen. We gotta think. Andy Reid's their coach, but we gotta worry about not we. I don't have a goat in this. Philly'd have to worry about the defensive coordinator for Kansas City loves the blitz. So I feel as though it's gonna be a running game, but I think Jalen Hurts is gonna have to show up and make a few big throws. It ain't gonna be him just rushing and running out the pocket. I feel if they do that, man, I'm not gonna say a blowout. I wouldn't go that far. It's Kansas City. I respect them, but I think if they stick to their game plan, how they've been playing all year, I just think they just have to. I just don't think Kansas City could deal with that. I just don't. They couldn't deal with James Cook. You think they're gonna deal with Saquon Barkley? So
night and day.
That's very true. YBK, what are we thinking? I mean, we've seen this matchup before, but the characters are a little different. Sean just told us that the running backs, the last time they played compared to this time, very drastic.
Yep.
I know as a resident Philly enthusiast and expert, talk to us. How are you feeling about this game?
I'm gonna go piggy off what Sean just said about the last game. We're comparing the Philadelphia versus that Commanders game, that 55 McNugget game. I mean, it's a night and day difference between where these two teams are coming from, and of course, James Cook ain't Saquon Barkley. And I feel like I'm gonna say this one phrase I saw in social media a couple days ago. Even the world's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, had 2 chances to defeat Thanos. So this is the time where the Eagles, this is your second chance. We lost 38-35 3 years ago, and there's another chance to bring us to that cup. So I'm feeling that the Eagles are really. I feel like the emotions here for the Eagles is that pumped energy, but of course, we're looking at that three-peat could potentially happen for the Kansas City Chiefs, which never happened in NFL history. Mikey, how do we feel about this?
I'm going to take y'all back to a moment that I feel like really cemented the last Super Bowl matchup between the Eagles and the Chiefs that has stuck in my mind and I think is going to be like a deciding factor this game. And that was when Jalen Hurts fumbled that ball and it got pooped and scored. I feel like the game is close enough and this matchup will be close enough that let's see if someone turns over the ball because the Chiefs got away with it against the Bills. I don't think they get away with it against Philly. And so you was talking about Philly put up the 50 burger on Washington. Well, Washington couldn't hold the ball. They was running with grease on the ball because any running back that touched that ball just put it on the ground. So I think the turnover battle is going to be a really important part. But experience plays a big key in the playoffs. Y'all know that. So I feel like let's look at it from the top down. If we talking about Coach Reid versus Coach Sirianni, let's be real. We're talking about someone who's trying to cement himself on a Mount Rushmore of coaches, and then someone who's been through kind of a turbulent time in Philly. So I want to say I mess with Sirianni because I like that he's young and I like that he's kind of outspoken because you've got to speak your piece. But Andy Reid's like a player's coach and he's a genius too. You've seen the misery that the Buffalo defense had with all them bootlegs, all those 4th and short, 3rd and short conversions. The way that I look at this coaching matchup, this is Andy Reid's advantage. So I don't know what y'all thinking about the coaching when we talking about coaches here.
John, did you want to jump in there?
Yeah, no, Andy Reid for sure. The thing is, Vic Fangio. And that's who Philly has this year. And Vic Fangio, if you know Vic Fangio, he's up there with Spags. I think Spags is obviously the GOAT when it comes to playoff. He beat the Patriots undefeated team. KC has him, but I like Vic Fangio. And I think I'm blanking right now. Offensive coordinator for Philly, he used to be with Dallas. What's his name?
Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. Okay, so what's going to happen? I think he could adjust. He's been, he's a passing court. He's a passing guy. He's been running all year. I think he still has that in him, though. So if they have to adjust with that, the only thing I have, it's just so hard. I do got to go KC, though. I don't want to talk in circles. I do got to go KC because you got Spags, you got Reed. But Fangio wasn't there the last time. Fangio was actually he's a legendary defensive coordinator, man. I'm telling you, if Kellen Moore needs to adjust to if they have to pass more, I think he could come up with a game plan to do that if they somehow contain Barkley. So I'd go KC, but I wouldn't go. It's not a bit. It's not like a. It's a 10-8. It's like a 10-4. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
gotta go for
gotta go for. I mean, experience means
you
a lot.
gotta go. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that I'm looking at, guys, is even in that last game, and for some of our listeners who haven't been hip, the Kansas City Chiefs played the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Kansas City won. There was a holding call towards the end of the game that was a little controversial. And, that kind of started we'll say the Kansas City dynasty or the evil empire, as we want to call it. One of the things that I'm looking at, in that last game was kind of the running backs and looking at the change of the guard. And I know Sean kind of mentioned, hey, if we can contain Saquon. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Saquon was not on the team the last time these guys were in the Super Bowl. Do you want me to tell you the running backs that were on that played in this last Super Bowl? Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell's still on the team, but he was hurt. He's been hurt, and I don't even know if he's going to play in this Super Bowl. Miles Sanders, gone.
Sanders.
Boston Scott. I think he might be on the practice squad. I'm not 100% sure. And that's on the Philadelphia Eagles front. Now, if we're looking at the Kansas City front, we see Isaiah Pacheco, hurt. Second leading rusher, Patrick Mahomes. Surprising. Okay. And third leading rusher, McKinnon, a wide receiver / running back. Now, granted, we do have Kareem Hunt, who does have a lot of player experience. But one question I really want to give out to the group is, do we feel like it's going to be a shootout type of game? Or do we think that based off of the expertise that you guys have talked about in terms of the coaching, two expert defensive minded coaches and good offensive-minded coaches, do we think this could be a low-scoring game revolving only around the running game? And how important is the quarterbacks? Like, what are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? Mikey, talk to me.
Well, the over-under is 48.5, and I'm going to say over. Initially, my initial thought is it's the Super Bowl. You know that you got to play. You craft up that playbook and you cook up a certain special play or two. And Kansas City hasn't need to pull them out, and neither have the Eagles this year. You know, like how the Lions always beat when they down or they having like a cold 4 drives in a row, and you see them pull out that Jameson Williams, like reverse this Jameson throwing a interception versus the Washington Commanders. The Eagles and the Chiefs got all them plays in the bag still. I do think like clock control will be important, but the Eagles, that offensive line is aggressive. They was going for rushing record. They wasn't going for time of control record. They trying to rip chunk plays, chunk runs. So even if they run the ball a lot, I still think that this is a high scoring game. I see I see them going over 48.5.
You said something about that. I mean, Sean, I know I need you to interject real quick. Is this a lock? For our listeners, do you think that this over-under is a lock for this?
I think it's a lock to go over. It's inside, fast track, and I'm gonna throw a curveball at you guys. You know what I think the key? I mean, I don't want to go all over the place. We're going quarterbacks. Listen, if Jalen Hurts, Spagnuolo likes to do zone. He likes to do zone, nickels, blitz. Issue with Jalen Hurts is, let's be honest, he has trouble reading defenses at times. I hate to say it, but it's a fact. It's just what it is. I'm wondering if he could adjust. Do you remember the first? I know it was his last Super Bowl. He was packed. He was holding his own, passing about. I think he actually, if I'm not lying, I think he had more yards passing than Mahomes.
He had 300. He had 304 yards and had a $182. So you're 100% right on that.
Yeah. So if he could somehow, and it was a Spags defense then, if he could somehow read the defense, the only thing is they kind of put him in a little bit. He said it himself. They kind of put him in a little bit of a straitjacket this year. It's been a running. They switched the whole thing over. It's been more running, more guarded. They conducted guarded. You know, digging and dunking a Barkley as well as rushing a Barkley. So I think if they somehow contain Barkley, how is Jalen Hurts going to adjust? He done it before, but could he do it again? Could he adjust to the Spagnuolo Zone defense? Could he read the defenses as far as get into a quote unquote shootout with Mahomes? I think if he could pass like he did the first Super Bowl, because it's automatically we think it's gonna be a running. It's easy to say that. Cook shredded. He shredded KC, so automatically we think Barkley's gonna shred KC. You know, guys, it never goes like that. It's always some type of curveball. So could Jalen Hurts adjust to that and have that passing game going?
That's your QB, Sam.
Yeah,
Tell us.
exactly. I feel like exactly what you said. In this playoffs too, Jalen Hurts hasn't been turning over the ball.
No,
Ever
good
since
point.
that Super Bowl, ever since he lost that Super Bowl 56. I remember it was a whole big social media thing where on his lock screen it was him losing with the confetti coming down. So I feel like just don't fall for the mistakes that you fell for during that time. Don't turn over the ball. And of course we talked about Jalen's throwing. He has great receivers, guys. We're talking AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and you got Dotson, wide receiver 3. So my game plan here in this Super Bowl is, of course, give the ball to Saquon. But if that doesn't work, I mean, we still got other options that we have here. But at the flip side, I mean, KC, as we always talked on this podcast, they have that coaching. It is that experience difference too, and they have that offense. Travis Kelce didn't really show much offensive prowess during the regular season, but we can see in the playoffs that he can anytime bring that up. So I also feel like it's going to be an offensive game. It's going to be definitely over, in my opinion too. So yeah, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a really good offensive game.
Ladies and
I don't
gentlemen,
think
touch
it's
the over.
going.
The over.
I don't think it's going much over though. To be honest with you, I'm not like I'm not seeing like 30 pieces like on the board. I'm just seeing over
I'm seeing
48.
high 20s though.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like I'm not seeing 38, 35 in regulation. Like, you know what I mean? Like even last year, the Super Bowl, it was 28, right? 20.
The Niners one?
But yeah, exactly.
Like
2022.
26, 29, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like
It's
that.
low.
And
It's
that's
low.
what a touchdown in OT.
Yeah, 25-22. Yeah, 25-22.
And that's what a touchdown in OT and a field goal in OT, or no, just a touchdown in OT. But Sam, I want to mention you brought up the wide receivers, saying that Jalen Hurts has some nice boys to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
My question is, Kansas City does have Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator, and so obviously Reed is the real play caller. I know he knows what to do in the backfield and formations. Let's like run someone out, kind of like the Rams was a few years ago. They know how to flare their running backs out or like use a motion to get Mahomes can see, is it a man coverage or we run in zone, and then knows who to go to. But are y'all trusting? Because this is where I feel like the Eagles have a clear advantage on having a real number one and real number two. Because you got AJ Brown, 5-time 1,000-yard receiver. Devontae Smith, young boy. I know he's skinny like John Jones with them chicken legs, but he's got burners and he's tough. He takes big hits and he
He
gets
does.
up.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Right to the next
I'm not
play.
quite sure if we can trust a rookie because Worthy is nice. Don't get me wrong. I love when he takes the reverses, those jet sweeps and stuff. But I feel like I'm not so sure I could trust him in like a closely contested secondary because Darius Slay, Mitchell, and Dijon is all solid players. So I don't know. Like, can Hollywood Brown be that guy? Can Juju get something cooking?
Well, I think one thing that you mentioned is, the secondary. We have a lot of younger guys that are in that backfield with some long tooth brothers. We got Slay, we got Quinion Mitchell, we got Dijon, and the biggest thing I really think is Rashad Rice did the same thing last year. So it's not an issue of, can these rookies really step up? I think Worthy has shown throughout the entire regular season, and Sean, back me up and let me know if I'm off track here. But during the regular season, Worthy has really shown and really stepped up that he can be that number one and has been put in these positions to succeed, especially when that offense early on wasn't really going great. I know that you talked about who's going to step up, and we mentioned Travis Kelce, who's a number one bona fide Hall of Famer, a top player in the playoffs. Really, really excited about him. Do we think that there needs to be one other player, the same way with A.J. Brown and Devontae, maybe a Goddard, or even a Dotson? Do we think that, with Travis and Worthy, there needs to be, like you said, a Hollywood Brown or a Juju to really step up? Or do you think just the Patrick Mahomes experience, and Sean, I'll toss this to you, 3 touchdowns on 182 yards last time they played. Do you think just the Patrick Mahomes experience, it doesn't matter who you put up, me, you, Mikey, and Sam could go out there and probably catch a couple dubs if we need?
No, I gotta go back to Worthy one second, and not to go against my brother Mike. It's not even that, but that 50-50 ball he caught last week, confidence. You guys know that. You just in life in general, it's confidence. It's all about confidence. It's all about what you do in that stage. Once he got that 50-50 ball and he fought that ball, whether we thought it was whatever, like I said, however you feel the refs are, he got it. I think that right there was kind of like, it's hard to say one play's your coming out party, but I think he's gotten better over the last, as the year went on, and I think that 50-50 ball helped. One guy we haven't named, he could be an X factor, is D-Hop. I know he's the same player. I know he's not who he is, but for some reason in these situations, Schuster did last week, dusted his ass off and got 2 big catches last week, man. This is what Mahomes does. He gets his confidence, man. And I think that you have to really think of that, and don't forget Watson. I don't see him on the injury report. He's good for a 25-30. I think with them is going to be more of a by committee. With Worthy having a few big catches, like Mike said, over the jet sweeps out of the backfield. And I'll talk about, he's on one of my prop bets later, and we'll talk about that later in the show. But I think with Worthy, man, I think he could be that number one. That catch, I think, really gave him the confidence, in my opinion, to go forward in this playoff where I feel as though he can make a catch and step up. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Opinion on that.
Like that, YBK. What are we thinking? How we feel about that? About Worthy coming out for his coming out party now in the playoffs?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's like what you said. It's like the Patrick Mahomes experience, right? It's like on how Patrick's feeling that day. I mean, Patrick, I feel like this all comes down to that, the quarterbacks right now. For Hurts coming out from a 50-piece McNugget, that confidence, as Sean mentioned too, is a little different here, Definitely, I feel like the pressure's on Mahomes with that three-peat pressure. I mean, this is NFL history. This is heavy things coming in. And Jalen Hurts right now is just coming for revenge here. So I feel like the two motives are different here. And it depends on how they feel that day. I feel like, as I talked about, the difference on this Eagles team, the Super Bowl team versus the Super Bowl team 3 years ago is our defense here, guys. It's definitely have improved, and I feel like we were one of the best defensive teams in the NFL this regular season. I feel like that was definitely an X factor throughout this whole regular season too. And of course, another difference we had is Saquon Barkley. So, I feel like this is the game of defense too. The Chiefs really showed some good defensive prowess too in playoffs as well. So we can't deny that. But yeah, we'll see how these two teams come up on Sunday.
I know we're going to talk a little bit of defense in a second, but I know we have some big players, and obviously we got some parlays in terms of tackles and sacks. And I know we mentioned Kelsey and Goddard.
Do
we think that last minute, 30 seconds, on the 20, down 1, need a field goal? Do we think that's going to play into any part this game? I know, shout out to my boy, Black June, my man Nick. He's a residency Philadelphia Eagles fan. He loves them. That's his team. We're going against each other this weekend. I feel bad because he's probably going to lose. But I know that he said if he saw Elliott around like the 43 kicking a field goal, he said he don't want to see that. So I'm just
what's going on with that?
I'm just wondering, is the special teams gonna matter?
What's going on with that? Jake Elliott was like top 5.
I mean, your boy been shaking.
Bro, that's bad. That's. Bro, if you don't mind if I chime in on that, that is actually, to me, Mahomes. All right, obviously Mahomes, you got to give Mahomes the edge, okay? But the real issue I have right now is that. is Elliott. Because if it goes by what Vegas is saying, it's gonna be a close game. I watched enough Philly this year. They've been actually hunting from their 45, bro. Like if it's 4th and 5, they're not going for it. They don't want him to kick. They do not want him to kick the ball. It's like they're working around him. And that, to me, that's an issue for Philly. To me, you brought that up. That's an issue. That's a big issue. Because a lot of these games come down to that, man. These close games and I don't trust him.
I mean, I know Mikey, Butler's been your boy. So how do you feel? You know what I mean? I know he's made some amazing. I know that's been your man that you've been saying he's a bum. But he ain't a bum.
He ain't a bum. He's just a conservative. He's a conservative. That's what he is.
That's your kick down the can right there.
He got a cannon for a leg, but Jake Elliott ain't scared of the bright lights. Let's not. I think we would be putting way too much of this ain't like a we need a Vinatieri type moment in this game. I don't think so. I don't see it as that sort of game. Special teams is important. I think the most important part of the special teams is going to be maybe field position more than it's going to be making. I would more expect Jake Elliott to miss an extra point than I would expect for him to miss a 40 to 50 yard field goal this game. I would rather bet on that. That's what I think is more likely.
Are we putting? You want to put $1 down that if he might miss
I'll put $1 down on Jake Elliott.
We're gonna put a gentleman's dollar down. Listen, just so you guys, for the MSD family, you know what I'm saying. We don't really gamble that much. We do gentleman bets. You know what I mean? Dollars or experiences. So you know what I mean? We try to keep it humble between us family. But you know what I'm saying? We put the big money when we beat Vegas. That's what we do, baby.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, 43 yards. He tried to kick like a 47. He gonna shake that right.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. I think we're looking for like things that might happen, and I feel like that's not one that I would. It's not like an area of the game that I feel like is super prevalent because especially with them kickoffs now too, like special teams now, like you kick off closer. It's less likely to be returned. You get the ball at the 30, so you're incentivized not to take it if you're in the end zone. I don't see the kicking game being a huge part of it, right? I will say we haven't discussed this yet, and I think that this is an area that I think is sneakily in the Chiefs' favor. Maybe not sneakily, because if you look at pro football rankings, the Chiefs are ranked as a top 5 offensive line, and you'd think that Philadelphia, the way that Saquon been running that ball, and you'd think that Philadelphia, with the names they have on their line, would be higher ranked than them, but they're actually sitting there just outside the top 10. So you got a Patriots legend, Joe Thuney, at the left tackle, sitting there protecting Mahomes' blind side. You got Cree Humphrey. You got Jawan Taylor on the right side. Trey Smith. Really solid offensive line, like underrated for the Chiefs. And then you got for the Eagles the names that I feel like I know and would have expected to be a higher rated offensive line. Jordan Mailata, converted over from overseas. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, and of course Lane Johnson. So I feel like the offensive line is going to be a big part of this game, right? Who could get pressure on the quarterback? Because the truth is Mahomes is able to deal with the pressure on a collapsing pocket. Jalen ain't had that burst. I don't know if y'all have been seeing it like me. I feel like this year Jalen ain't had that same burst.
Oh no, he's definitely been hurt. He definitely hasn't had that. He hasn't had that burst, but at the end of the day, I think it's weird because it's like since Barkley's been running it, obviously it's like Jalen still has like 2 or 3 10 to 15 yard runs in him. You know what I mean? But that being said, the name I was looking for earlier, guys, I'm sorry, was Jordan Davis. So this is where I'm going with this real quick, not to pivot back to that. I don't think Kansas City is going to be able to run on that. I really believe this is a part of the game that it's one of those things where I'm like, it's going to be a Mahomes throw fest, and I understand that, he could throw the ball, but who is he throwing to? And that's when I said, is it going to be that Mahomes buffet? That's one of those X factors I was going to talk about too, guys, before we go forward. I don't think KC is going to be able to run on that. I truly don't.
You don't think so?
Davis, Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Zach Baum. I mean,
Zach
I'm
Bond.
looking at that like, how are you gonna? You're not gonna be able to run on them. You know, if you look at it, Eckler's not what he was, obviously, right? So we can't go by that. Robinson is hit or miss, right? So I don't want to go by what they did against last week. I'm just saying in general this year, their run defense, like Sam said, he'll know more than me because that's his team. Their run defense has been stout. And it's going to be a one-dimensional thing. The way Kansas City's been winning a few of these games is Kareem Hunt's been going off. Pacheco hasn't been doing much. But you have Kareem Hunt going off. You got Mahomes coming out of rushing out of the backfield. Mahomes might be able to still run for a few yards, but I don't think they're going to be able to hand the ball off and run. I truly don't believe that.
You're right. You're definitely right, because if you compare Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler to Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, I'm not seeing a huge difference.
Right.
You're right.
David's going.
Yeah.
You had two guys that got dropped from their teams. Like Robinson has been jumped around.
No,
and
he ain't jumped around. He's only been
No,
on.
sorry, not him, but Eckler jumped around. We already know about him, and Robinson just doesn't have the muscle on his body to even do nothing. He had no big game time experiences. Don't know what it looks like if the playoffs hit him in the face.
Well, Pacheco too, though, in a similar sense, Kareem Hunt came off from the free agency, bro, because they got injured. So that's I mean, yeah, Eckler's a little older now, but teams was still wanting to sign him. Hunt literally came from free agency because he came off the couch because he knows the system. Andy Reid likes.
He's been surprised.
He did some dirt a couple years ago. That's why you know what I mean he's been a little bit of toxic in the league. It's not due to he can't play.
And he's off the field activity. He's been good, but I just don't see him. I'm like going down the line looking at this defensive line for the Eagles. I just don't. I don't see it. Sorry.
I mean, we look at this defensive matchup, we're talking about this defensive line. Do we just feel like this defensive line is just gonna overpower this Kansas City offensive line, regardless of the ratings? Like how this is kind of this is where we're like the meat of of everything. This is what we're thinking.
It's more like a stalemate. In the running game, you need to if you're asking me, can Isaiah Pacheco get 4 hard yards in the first half? Yes, for sure, because that dude runs like a minotaur, he's like a bull, right, chasing after the matador. But you can't do that the whole game. It's more if we're talking about if both was in a stalemate, Saquon Barkley can rip you to 60-yard touchdown, can rip you to 20-yarder out the sideline, can rip you to 15-yarder, 10-yarder up the middle. He don't need a lot. I just don't think that Kareem Hunt and Pacheco can do that. I think they use what gaps they have. Kareem Hunt runs hard into the tackle and shimmies. Now he's using that small body and that strength a little bit more than the elusiveness. Pacheco is the same way. And then you're not worried about Samaje Perine. He might catch a little flare out the back, right? You're not worried about him.
He's just a side piece on that one.
Saquon can do it. And even if you have a stalemate between the offensive line and the defensive line of the Kansas City's defensive line and Philadelphia's offensive line, Saquon could get something. I just trust that more for sure. I would bet on that more than Kansas City getting something out that running game.
And I would totally agree with that. The only concern is that Saquon has been banged up on those last 2 playoff games. He had that 60-yard run on that first one against Washington. The man was on the bike for a little bit. Yeah, then he's massaging his calf for a little bit.
You're right.
And then on top of that, we have Gainwell that was injured during that game, and he didn't even play the last fourth quarter. So even during that blowout, Saquon had to take a couple more carries than I think they even thought he would, based on the fact that they didn't have another guy, behind him. They signed a guy off the practice squad. They signed a running back from the practice squad this past week. If Saquon's 100%, if this is week 2 or week 3, I think this is a blowout. But guys are banged up, and I'm really scared that Saquon might. It might be one of those situations that we had last year where a guy just is getting excited, runs on the field, something, and it's over, and then our parlay's busted. So I'm just the lack of running backs. I understand I have 2 injured guys, or the Kansas City Chiefs have 2, a guy who got off his couch and a guy who's hurt. But Philly only has 1. So I'm just kind of like, if we take out Saquon, it's like, and then expecting Jalen to throw, I'm just like, I'm nervous, guys. I'm nervous.
Yeah, I'm not. And Sam, I like you. I'm sorry, Sam, but I'm not. Didn't Pacheco break his tailbone? Like he hasn't ran the same since he came back.
Yep.
And Sam, I want to ask you, who's the third? I know it's Gainwell Barkley. Who's the third? Who's their third? Who's their emergency back?
So it's Gainwell and Will Shipley, where he scored a touchdown with that blowout. He got that like 60 yards a little bit towards the end of the game. Yeah, he got that tutty in the end. But yeah, I feel like in terms of banged up right now, I'm not really worried because both teams right now coming off 2 weeks rest. We got that extra week, so I feel like in terms of conditioning, I rate both teams to be. I expect them to be all 100% ready to go. In terms of like, if you play like a 2K game, like how it says like 100% healthy. It's not even 98 guys. Everybody's 100. I feel like, but in this point, it's on it. So it's coming off a clean slate here, and I feel like when you mentioned Jalen's throwing game, I feel like I wasn't worried seeing him in the conference finals where he got that 32 AJ Brown, and I think he got around like 250 plus yards in terms of yardage in the passing game. So in terms of that, I feel like I give it more to the wide receivers in terms of that. But I want to mention, we did mention Pacheco, we did mention Hopkins coming in, but I want to mention Mahomes and the Kelsey chemistry here. I feel like if nothing's going right for the Kansas City Chiefs here in terms of their offense and the rushing game and passing game, I feel like Mahomes and Kelsey are going to generate some sort of offense. They're going to pull some because, they always have done this and showed us that. So,
yeah.
That's a good point. I will say, if we flash back to that first Super Bowl win, they was down 20-10 in the fourth, and it was that 3rd and long, and Mahomes scrambled out and darted one down the field for a 40-yarder to Tyreek. I just don't think that if they go down 10 in the fourth, that Kelsey's capable of giving that play. That's where it's a what if. If they're down, we'll see. That's like a big what if. I just don't know if they have that spark, if they use up that 20-yard jet sweep to Worthy early in the game, or like the big hitter to get in the man coverage with Hollywood Brown running a streak down a sideline type. I'm not so sure I feel like the big play because maybe it just doesn't feel like it. Maybe they have more 20-yard hitters than I remember, because if you watch Kansas City this year, you'd be saying like the offense ain't that good, but yet they always find a way to put up enough points. So
always find a way to win.
Yeah, and don't forget they drafted DeJohn basically to cover Kelsey. They went into this year like we're going to the Super Bowl, and basically we're gonna. Not that they knew that Kansas City was gonna go, but they're looking at it. DeJohn could have raced your tight end. He can't. I know they're missing the Kobe Dean, but I'm not saying Kelsey won't be a factor. I was not too impressed with him last week. He's one of those guys right now. It looks like he's up and down during, weekly. He's still a threat. I'm not going to take it away from him. He knows how to find the pocket of the defense, but I just think this defense, man, in the secondary is built. Gardner Johnson, DeJohn, Blankenship. They got guys that could cover, that could run with the cover, that are tough enough, big enough to cover Kelsey. They're a big team. So
yeah, you know what? I got to build on that right now because this year Mahomes is playing like Brady was in his mid to late late 30s, which is quick. Everything's a quick hitter. Get the ball out. So that's going to be a huge. If they could just defend off the line, jam on the line. I think they're going to have to send some men up on the line like that. You're going to have to man up a little bit. So, because I don't feel like they're going to run many zones against Mahomes. That boy be picking.
No, they're going to go man. They'll man up. They might throw a few.
Like
a little during the game, but they'll go man. They'll go man.
He wants to throw the ball quick for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. They'll go man. I agree.
So
Who do we feel like is the biggest X factor on defense? Are we thinking it's Jones? Is it Carter? Are we think it's McDuffie? Is it Watson? Who do you think? Is it Slay? Like, who do we think? And I know Sean mentioned Dijon, and I know we're going to talk about a little bit about some big game rookies in a little bit. But who do we feel really is the missing key? If this guy does his job, this team wins.
I think.
Well, I'm sorry,
my
go
fault.
ahead.
Yeah. I'm
Go ahead.
feeling like y'all remember when what's his name? Graham made the play against Brady when
Yes,
he got
yes.
Brady's arm and forced the fumble. Like, I'm feeling like it don't have to be your best, because like Fletcher Cox was that guy in the middle of that line. It don't have to be the best player on a team, but I do feel like this Super Bowl, it has to be the best player on your team. So like, I feel like Chris Jones needs to get some pressures and show out. He needs to break off. He needs to disengage whoever's blocking him and catch Saquon by the leg or by the hip if he try to run up that edge or get in between the tackle and the guard. Someone big is going to have to come up. On the Eagles side, I'm expecting Darius Slay to step in front of one of them quick passes that he's going to try to hit and try to get one.
Is he covering Worthy all game? What's Slay doing? Is he on Hollywood? Talk to
Burks will cover him. Burks will be in there. You know, I like, you know, on the Kansas City side, and you guys know I don't have a stake in the game as far as I'm not rooting for either team. I'm a Brady Patriots fan. So do I want to see them win? And I got a lot of my family's from Philly, so if I had to edge it, I'd go that way because my family's actually from Philly. But I like Tranquil, man. That's the thing, because if it's gonna be a shootout, you're gonna have to. I know he said Jones, but you're gonna need Nick Bolton. You're gonna need Tranquil. McDuffie's a top 5 corner in my opinion. Other than Surtain, to me, he's up there. And because I believe something's telling me, Sam, and you could expound on it. Something's telling me is Jalen Hurts is gonna have to throw the ball this game. I don't know. I went into it thinking Barkley. Now I'm thinking like Jalen Hurts is gonna throw. I don't know, Sam. Let me know. I mean, you follow him more than me.
Yeah, just as we talked about Jalen, I mean, if that Saquon plan don't work, because, you know, it's been working all season long, just give the ball to Saquon. If that don't work, then Jalen got to run or pass the ball or do something, because we need some sort of offensive output. And for me here, I feel like X factor in terms of defense, I'm going Jalen Carter, everybody. I mean, he showed what he did in that Packers game. So we need the best defense ever, and this is what we've been working for. And this game is the game we've been working all year for. So I feel like this is the game to show. So I feel like these guys got to make sure, if you want your value and you want your worth and you want that ring, this is the game to go for. So I'm going Jalen Carter for X factor for the defense for the Philadelphia Eagles here.
Is he gonna, real quick? Is he gonna? I'm sorry, Mike. What's the latest update on him?
Oh, he was a full participant in practice, so he's gonna be playing on Sunday.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
They all playing. They taking the cortisone. They taking the tramadol.
everything they have to.
They taking the
Taking it all.
Percocet. They smoking a blunt. They doing it.
Man, I
All right,
just heard
this is-
something, so I wasn't sure.
I gotta ask y'all. This is a big question right here. On any 4th and short, 3rd and short, 4th and short, or goal line 1 or 2 to go, can Kansas City stop the tush push? No one's ever been able to stop their tush push. Yeah. Can they stop the tush push?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, that when you have four
good.
your linemen are over 300 pounds and are just massive human beings, you could fall and get a yard. I think even myself.
Well, what about the Bills though? The Bills couldn't do it.
But Bills ain't the Eagles.
And that's because your boy was twisting and turning. Like I told you, he wanted to jump and be Superman. The first one did go over the pylon, and they tried to smack it out. He said, "Oh, I can't do that." Then he tried to do circle. If you ever played Madden, he tried to do circle right before on the goal line, and they caught him in the back. And that 6 inches of sternum was the difference between him winning and losing. But yeah, I mean, listen, Jalen Hurts with a bum leg, no legs, half a leg. The man could fall and get a yard for that tush push. These guys have invented it. They know every variation of it. They go right, they go left, they go middle, they go back. There's a stutter. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a fake tush push handed to Goddard.
Ooh.
I would not even be surprised for that this week, just because of the fact that Goddard's been lined up so closely in the last couple tush pushes. So I'm just telling you, like these guys, when it comes to 4th and 1, nasty. I think if the game matters to that, Philly's gonna win no matter who.
Good question, guys. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. Did they get stopped though? Last week or the week before? I know they beat Washington by like 80, but did he get stopped? Did they get stopped?
I
don't think it was a tush push. I think it was a run.
Okay, all right. I just want to like.
Yes, David, you're right.
Okay.
A design run for Jalen.
Okay.
We were like, why didn't they hand the ball to Saquon, or why didn't they tush push?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the number is 39 out of 48
Ooh.
for attempts from one yard or shorter this season for the Eagles. So it tells you that they willing to go for it. 39 out of 48. So
Damn.
That's pretty effective.
That's pretty good.
Right? That's pretty effective. But Kansas City also stopped 4 out of 6 by Buffalo. But Buffalo ain't
Yeah, but Buffalo showed their cards when they put Ty Johnson in the back. That was just honestly, bro. That coach lost that game. I'm not gonna talk about it. That's a whole nother game.
Mm-hmm.
You put your third down back in. You put your jumbo package in there. You're gonna you're gonna quarterback sneak. So it's like, come on, man, like that. But I hear what you're saying overall. Like that was just. I knew he was gonna quarterback sneak, and I'm on my couch. So what do you think they thought? So. With Philadelphia, I think that's a good point by you, Cam. Though it's basically saying how they could do some type of play how they did against the Patriots with Nick Foles, where they have Gardner in the backfield.
Philly special.
Fake this Philly special and do some. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that Philly has done in every single.
That's a good call,
I mean? And I just can just feel like, okay, like if Kansas City starts them on a 3rd and 1 and they have to do it again, and then they're in the goal line, they're like, nah, bug this, like we're gonna make it pop in.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I mean, two guys I'm really excited to see, 2 rookies, Xavier Worthy and Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
Question is which rookie do we feel like is going to make the most impact? I mean, obviously because Xavier Worthy is the number 1, but I think if Cooper does his job, if DeJean does his job, I think the pieces fall into place. Like I don't know about the rest of y'all, but he's had some big moments. He had a big moment last week on a 3rd down. So I know from our resident Philly guys and even Mikey, I know, I mean, you're a resident defensive minded man. So let me know how are we feeling about Cooper? Do we think this guy is gonna be, he's a white boy gone wild. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
You know how that works out in the secondary. But he's been playing well, and he deserves some respect, and I feel like that says it right there. That's the 2 big rookie X factors of the game. I also think Quinyon Mitchell though is quietly up there as one of the a good corner. Yeah. I feel like Sean, you really nailed it by saying Vic Fangio. He knows how to get young guys to work that system, and he loves, like, I feel like speed, athleticism in that secondary. It don't necessarily always need to be IQ and experience.
Yep.
So let's see, because Xavier Worthy, you know what he did? He broke that 40-yard dash record. So I feel like we're about to see, like, we're gonna see.
I mean, with Cooper
don't
DeJean.
forget either. Real quick, Sam, and don't forget Nolan Smith. So N'Kobe Dean went out.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Smith stepped in for him. Okay, Nolan Smith ain't as quick as N'Kobe Dean. So, Sam, let me ask you this: as a Patriots fan to Eagles fan, do you think Nolan Smith would be able to cover in the open field if he has to drop back on Kelsey? What do you think about that? Or not even just Kelsey, anybody in as far as, because N'Kobe Dean could do that. Nolan Smith he more rushes the passer than as a stand-up linebacker. So I don't know. What do you think about him?
I think I wouldn't be worried here. I think he can completely cover for sure. Like what you said, I think he's completely fine. No worry here. But I want to go back to Cooper DeJean, and I mean he did finish 4th in the rookie the DPOI this season, with his fellow teammate finishing 2nd. But it's kind of like a little fun fact here. In terms of these 2 rookies that we're talking about, Xavier Worthy and Cooper DeJean, I'm leaning towards the Cooper DeJean side because also, guys, fun fact, Cooper DeJean's birthday is on Sunday.
Man.
So that's going to be a special day for
Wow.
David. And yes, David, you're right. And we have fellow teammate Saquon Barkley's birthday.
I was gonna say,
It's the day of the Super Bowl.
too.
So
Damn.
yeah, it's crazy.
Celebrating.
Yeah.
It's my birthday and I'm about to go Listen, it's about to go crazy.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
You want to? Can I say something real quick about Nolan Smith? Is he from Georgia?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
they
what?
love Georgia.
You're right that he is more of
Russian. Yeah.
an athletic edge rusher.
Yeah.
But I feel like if there's one person you want to fill in who might understand how to run a coverage, it's someone who played an NFL style offense or a program like Alabama's and the Georgias of it all. I feel like you're right. It's definitely an issue, but let's see. Maybe you play with the chip on your shoulder because you know they might try to target you.
Yeah, because
right?
he's
good
more of
point.
an edge. When Dean went out, because I do watch him too. He's been trying to play that hybrid role, and I noticed in coverage it's not like Sam said. It's not like he's not getting like exposed. Like you can't he's not, but it's still not with N'Kobe Dean Broadson. Like to me, if he was playing, I would have put him on my X Factor on our pre-show, because that kid, man, he was all over the place. And once they lost him, obviously they haven't lost a step. They're still where they're at. But this is one of those games, once again, where I think he would have been one of those guys between him, Dijon, those guys covering Kelsey over the middle. Because to me, it's Kelsey getting in that pocket. And that's why I asked Sam, do you think Nolan Smith could kind of cover that up? But
Fangio, this is where Fangio
yeah,
that's where he comes
because you're going to need to confuse. If he could get one or two plays where he can cover and then you draw it up to make it look like he might be falling back, but you let him rush, he's leading leading the playoffs in pressures.
Yeah.
In 3 games,
Wow.
it's 13 pressures.
He's tough.
So that's
Numbers don't lie.
pretty,
Numbers don't lie. Speaking of numbers, ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest. I have to introduce him again one more time. You know what I mean? From the host, one of the hosts of Parlay with us, Mr. Sean Doe. I mean, listen, sir, I'm so grateful to have you here. I mean, many of our resident listeners, they know one of my favorite catchphrases: put the money on the flow. We've made a couple dollars. We made a couple dollars doing our thing. But guys, listen, you know your boy, Mr. Club Paradise. I've been doing my thing. I've been making you a couple dollars. But I had to get the resident expert. I had to get the CEO. I had to get the mentor of the MSD bro when it comes to the parlays. I had to get Mr. Sean in this mug. So I have a couple questions, before we get to the numbers. I just wanted to ask, listen, how did you get into, this parlay business? How did you get into the sports gambling? What was your idea? I know you come, back in the day, they didn't have the apps like the MGM and the Bovadas, but talk to us. What was it like back then?
Well, I basically started doing daily fantasy. But for me, everything came down to numbers, like in trends. And I'm a stat nerd, bro. Like I've always been in the stats, and it's like all the information is there, but it's the trends, it's the away home, it's the splits, it's things that are all there for us. But I think for me now it's basically like once gambling became, legal as far as just gambling, I got away from the daily and I just started getting into props because it's basically all the same as fantasy. It's like when I crunch my numbers, I usually go by, they give you the averages. Obviously, they give you, like right now, Saquon's for the year, he's been 149 rushing and receiving. And my biggest thing, I like to do a lot of combos as far as my parlays go, is meaning combos, not just the parlay. Obviously, parlay is a combo, but the actual bet itself. So for me, like I said, I just love numbers. I crunch numbers. I'm a stat nerd. I don't hide that. I don't try to act like, it all comes down to just loving the sports. But basically, I came from daily, but now I'm over to, parlay, and that's the show I have, and I'm in the prop. It's actually I don't even know. Mike might have known. Mike was with my boy Sonny. Y'all know Sonny. I hit a crazy plus like 2,000 prop bet. And the thing is, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of money on it. I only ended up because I didn't put crazy money on it, but it was like a crazy prop bet I hit. I hit. Obviously, gambling is gambling, so I'm not gonna tell you that I hit 89. I don't. But when I pick safe bets, I'm usually a good 6 out of 10,
Okay.
60%.
Okay. I mean,
So,
guys, one of the things that Sean talked about is this isn't Ouija board. This isn't osmosis. This isn't the fact that we're just we're just picking random players and random numbers.
Right.
Many of these guys spend hours on their days, weeks, months, years, perfecting their craft before they even go live. So a lot of people think, oh well, this person's just making money and they're just able to just print money. They've worked on this for years. They've lost or they've practiced a little bit for many years before they've gotten to a point where they're putting up real money and they're even spending it. So you talked about you try not to do big bets, and as you teach these people and teach your clients how to do what type of numbers you're thinking, $5, $2, $10.
Yeah, like you could. I mean, listen, man. You bet what you can, but I'm more in the $5-10 range. If you want to bet 50, bet 50. I don't want anybody. Like I said, I'm not here guaranteeing you. I'm not telling you to go to the bank and get $100-$200 and put it on my parlay. If you do, listen. Don't tell your wife or whoever it wasn't me. Like I'm over here. I'm giving you, and when I give you my payouts, I'm basically doing it on a $10 basis.
I love it.
So 10 could win you this. If you want to do more, do more. Like I said, I keep notes on what I do. I'm at like a 60% clip right now. It's not 70, it's not 80. So basically 60% is basically 50-50. Let's keep it real. So when I do give my best out, I was looking as we were on the show, and I was looking at some of these defensive I love defensive prop bets. Some of these numbers is a lot of pluses. So pluses is not, it's not the safest bet when you do a plus. So I won't. I'll give you one. If you want to start right now, I could give you Zach Bond.
Okay.
I'm going assist and tackle. So assist and tackles is a little bit safer because if you just go with solo tackles, it could be a little sketchy. Assist, they'll give you a little. Sometimes they'll give you assist if you touch the guy's toe. So if Nolan Smith is holding someone up and Zach Bond comes and like hits their hip, he'll get a half a tackle on that. So right now he's at 10.5. He's at the plus 105. So basically, if you guys don't mind, if I could do the, hold on, just give me a second. I'm sorry.
We like to be accurate on our show. We want to give the listeners an accurate number if they're actually going to do this, because guys, we want you to be able to have some fun when you're watching the Super Bowl. You might have friends where you guys all might put $10 on a large parlay. I know after the show we might be talking about putting a couple dollars on a RCR MSD Sports situation, but we try to have fun here. We want you to be able to enjoy betting and enjoy gambling as a responsible. Same thing with anything that you indulge in, regardless of what it is. So you got those numbers for us?
Yeah, I got the numbers real quick. Let me just now it's acting. Hold on.
You're good. I know I've been looking at a couple kind of this week, a couple big names that really speak out to me. Noah Gray is at a 1.5 receptions in terms of an over. Throughout the entire regular season, he's really been doing an amazing job. He didn't even get a reception last week. He did play, but he didn't get a reception. Cool. I think that it's kind of gonna change its tune a little bit. If we can't get the ball to Travis, I think Noah Gray might have something. So if you guys are listening and got a couple dollars, Noah Gray 1.5 receptions. You know what I'm saying? Might be a little some if you want to do a little some.
I like that. And also real quick, while we're on that, I just want to chime in on this. Noah Gray, and I think right now, and Sam could agree on this, I think God has been having a hell of a playoffs. And I got him right now. I don't want to jump all over the place, right? But right now, he's at, I think his five receptions right now for him. It's like his is his 5 receptions you can get at minus 37, which you have to put basically 100 to put. I'm not going to go there. You to win $37. So that actually moved since this morning. I'm just right now. I'm kind of this app is not the normal app today because it's the Super Bowl right now. So just bear with me. I'll give you right quick. I'm right there. Don't worry about it. I'm right there.
You're good. I mean, I can name.
I got it. So right now, Zach Bond over 10.5 assists and tackles. 10 will get you 20-50. Like I said, that's doubling your money. I don't want people to run out here. And I even say this on my show. Listen, guys, my boy Stony Crook. We have our own segment with him. I don't even. I like Cam said. I want you guys to have fun. I don't want you guys going crazy. If you guys got $100 put aside just to have fun at the Super Bowl, I would spread it out. You could do a parlay. You could add the Zach Bond 10.5. I don't want to make your ears go crazy, but you could add that with like the Noah Gray 1.5, and that might double it to $35. Or you could add this. You could add the guarded. I'm liking guarded at 5 receptions.
Love that.
I'm thinking he's going to be a guy in that play. So that's one of them. But my bet. This is my super parlay. I've been curating this. I've been telling anybody who wants to know. This is, like I said, I'm not saying it's a short bet. It will give
it to us, Guru. We need it.
I like Barkley 160 rushing receiving. Barkley anytime touchdown. And I like Xavier Worthy 70 plus rushing receiving. That's what you're saying. Like Mike said, they run a lot of action from Worthy out of the backfield. It could cover as a reception, could cover as a rush. It doesn't matter. As long as he gets to 70, it gives you options. So if you see him running the ball, you don't have to worry. It's another thing. I love doing reception and rushing because you don't have to worry how you don't have to think, oh, did he run? Did he catch it? As you're doing your little chips and dip, like he's getting his yards. That's it. You're covered. Anytime touchdown, I like Barkley. Jalen Hurts, the obvious answer. I don't want to go down a deep dive, but I'll give you the odds on that. If you guys want to continue another, talk your stuff, Cam, I'll give you the odds on that super parlay. It's basically a 3-leg parlay. It's Worthy 70 plus, rushing receiving. It's Barkley 160. That's not a stretch if it's rushing receiving.
I love that.
And I like anytime touchdown for Barkley. And I'll give you.
I think that's a lock. I think everyone on their bingo card, should get Barkley anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Right?
It's his birthday. Come on.
I just think, like I said, that's it's not 100. Like I said, I don't want to say it's 100% bet, but I like Barkley. I like him getting his touchdown. I really do. I'm not saying he's gonna get 2. I like his 1. He's actually has the best odds of getting that. And I like that. And I like the Xavier Worthy's their number 1. They run a lot of action from him out of the backfield, like Mike said earlier. And I'm gonna add that up for you guys. If you want to continue talking about something else,
let me ask you. I'm gonna run through some for y'all. I'm gonna just toss some things out like over here. Let's go. I want to ask, like, are we going over? We going over that 48.5, or are we going under?
I'm going over.
Over.
Okay, Sam. I know you hammering that Philadelphia Eagles money line. So over 48.5 and Philadelphia Eagles money line. We put in Saquon as an anytime touchdown scorer here as well.
Yes, sir. 100%.
All right. This is where I know, David. I know you said your boy Noah Gray. You got 2+ receptions. What do you think?
I got him at over 1.5. 1.5.
So two
receptions.
Two or more. Okay, bet.
2 or more. He's got to get 2. I also have Goddard. I got my boy Goddard at 4.5. We talked about that with Sean a little bit too. I wanted to piggyback on that too. I'm just letting y'all know.
How about, are we going for Pacheco rushing here? You think he's going to hit 40? Is he hitting 40?
I'm not.
I don't think
stay off that.
I don't think. I think it's more likely for him to get a touchdown within the 5-yard line than for him to run for 40 yards.
Oh, that's a good point. I like that.
How about big game Kelsey? Is he gonna go over 50?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Wow.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. I see like a 47, like 8 receptions, 47 dink and dash, especially
Wow.
if you're thinking that this defensive prowess is really going to hold in on these guys.
I thought he's gonna go over for me.
You think
Yeah,
he's going to go over?
I'm leaning over. I feel like Washington got a lot of decent chunk plays in the past game.
Zach
too,
Ertz
and
went. Yeah, Ertz got it a lot.
Was 11 for 110 last
Yeah.
week. Or 2 weeks ago, rather. That's the only thing I was thinking about. Like, if Ertz could rip you for 11 and 110.
Travis definitely over 40 though for me. Not that 110 like Ertz, but I think over 40.
What do we think about AJ Brown? He's more yards heavy this game, huh? Not reception heavy.
Yeah, I like him yards heavy. A quick update,
Oh, yes, sir.
On that segment, I got it's plus 600. So 10 will actually give you 70 for that. You got Xavier Worthy.
Playboy.
Yeah, rushing and receiving 70 plus for Worthy. Anytime TD Barkley. And Barkley 160 rushing, receiving. Once again, rushing, receiving. A lot of people think it's just receiving or rushing. Make sure, because there's so many props right now on this app. I don't care what app you're on. Make sure it's rushing, receiving. And I'm plus 600. 10 will get you 70.
Listen,
Like I said, just be safe, guys. Whatever you want to put, I'm not telling you.
I want to ask Sam this one because I feel like we've been cooking one right here, and I want to call this one the YBK Super Bowl line.
Yes.
Sam, you think Juju? You think how many catches you think Juju's got this game? You think any 0, 1, 2? What you got for Juju?
He got 3.
You think 3? Okay,
three
so we're gonna go
receptions.
2+. We're gonna go 2+ receptions on Juju.
Yes.
And I'm gonna end you off on one more leg because we're gonna keep it to a 6 or 7 legger. We're not gonna go too crazy.
All right.
12 leg. All right. Jalen Hurts. I'm thinking what y'all is 25 yards rushing safe for Jalen Hurts?
Over, hit that.
Over. Yeah, let's do that over.
Hit that.
Yeah.
Hit that.
All right, so I'm gonna recap this line for y'all just because we kind of cooked up a little live line.
You made one right now?
Sunday.
Snap.
So I'm gonna tell you the line. We got over 48.5.
Yep.
We got Philadelphia Eagles money line because
Okay.
this is the YBK.
Okay.
YBK. We're gonna give it to YBK.
Trust me, we'll run one for the Chiefs. We got the Camden line coming. We also got Travis Kelce over 50.
Over 50.
We got Juju 2 receptions plus, Noah Gray 2+ receptions, and Jalen Hurts 25 yards. That's at plus 2,600 odds. So we're gonna put 5. I'm gonna drop 5 on that for the pod. That's 130 if that pays out. So we calling that one the YBK
money line.
the YBK money line.
Okay.
Right there.
I loved it. Yo, I'm getting excited, bro. Yo, listen, you know what's so ill? I have to work tomorrow, but I was so excited. I've been working literally like 24/7, bro. But I was like, Mike hit me up. I'm like, bro, like, even listen to this. I know it ain't a basketball show. I'm doing a UConn St. John's parlay as we're talking because it's like it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Come on, Sam. It's your team. Your team.
Yes, sir. You already know.
Drink a Red Bull, man. Come on. I know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna real quick. I got a story to tell you. So when Patriots played Philly, right?
Yep.
I'm such a Patriots fan, even though I got my Seattle Sons, because I love my man Kemp. You know I didn't eat that whole day up until the Super Bowl, bro. That's how nervous I was, bro. I don't know what it was, bro. Facts.
Wow.
Bro, in the way that game turned out was like I knew we were gonna lose. So I know whoever's rooting for these teams, I'm not saying you ain't gonna eat that day, but I know the nerves, like, bro, like you got your jersey. I know you ready, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
You gonna watch the Sixers tonight? I don't know who your basketball team is, but I know you gotta get primed up and do something. Damn, what's popping, bro?
Listen. I'm extremely excited. You guys already know. Like, this is, the NFL is my pride and joy. I'm the resident NFL guy. I love it to my core, and It's a sad day, but it's also a momentous day because once I know that Christmas is over and Santa Claus brings me my wonderful presents, I get to be a good boy for another year and the season
So you
starts.
have to go. You have to go to Target now on Sundays with your girl or your wife.
You know, I gotta do some things. I gotta do some things. You know what I'm saying? You know, usually I'm chilling on the couch, relaxing. I might have 2 or 3 screens. I might be doing my thing. Now I'm gonna be, probably taking a pottery class on my Sunday afternoons. 'Cause, you know,
you can watch Bogota on Netflix. Dope ass movie.
Okay, Listen, Mike, are we cooking up something for your boy? Cause you know I'm itching. What's the situation? You know I got something. Come on.
Well, we heard you. I know where you're going on your money line. I know you said Kansas City.
Listen,
so listen.
I was riding with my boys at the beginning of the season this year. I'm riding for them to the end.
So I have just one question because we're gonna run back. We went over a lot of lines that I feel like you agreed with. Do you think AJ Brown is he safe for 40+ yards here?
Yeah. 100%.
How risky you willing to go on? You willing to go on that because the odds for AJ is you got some wiggle room because 40+ yards is pretty high odds. We're talking minus 400 like around right here.
So what can I give him a nice little 70 piece. I think he can get a 70 piece. I think he can get a 70. There's gonna be a lot of one-on-one coverage, and I think those 50-50 balls, there might be a pick, but at the same time, you know what I mean? AJ Brown is a dog. Listen, big time plays make big time plays, and AJ Brown is about that life. So even if I
70,
do go
70 plus,
wow,
70 plus,
let's go
70 plus.
Damn, David's money line.
I'm cooking the Camden money line. We got
cook it up.
So we got Noah Gray 2 receptions.
100%.
Saquon anytime.
100%.
Over 48.5. Kansas City money line.
Yes, 100%. 100% on both 48 and Kansas City.
Travis Kelce, you said 47 yards, so we going 40+ for Travis.
I would rather switch that out to Mahomes rushing.
Ooh, what are you
40?
thinking of Mahomes rushing rate?
31.5 more. Over.
31.5. All right, let me pull up the rushing props right here. Let's see what that is.
I would definitely. I want to take Patrick and Jalen for my rushing. Overall,
you want to go 25 plus yards for Pat because the difference that I got for the props is 25 and then 40.
I like 25.
I'll take 25.
to be safe. Yeah, you're right.
My blood. I'll take 37, but I guess 40 is a little too rich for me.
Okay, and then you got AJ Brown 70 plus yards.
100%.
And then what? You want to hammer that Jalen Hurts 25 yards as well?
Can I get 38.5 rushing yards over?
For Jalen, damn, you think the QBs is toting that thing? Let's
do
see.
me a favor real quick, Mike. Do a darker. What about Devontae? What's his
Devontae Smith? Ooh, you're right.
He's at 4.5 rushing yards, 4.5 receptions. I'd take that. I wouldn't take the yards, but I'd definitely take the receptions.
Let's see what we got for your boy.
Let's get it.
Devontae. You want yards, you said?
I want receptions. 4.4. I want him over 4.5.
Over 4?
Receptions. Over 4.
Interesting. I'm not. I feel like we slightly different here because I'm not feeling the receptions for. I feel like Smith and Brown. I'm feeling.
And what's his name is going to eat the receptions, but I'm looking at Smith. Not to go against my brother Cam because I feel like we have the same thoughts on this, but with him, I'm looking more yardage for Smith. More quick shot. Like my man Sam got the Alshon Jeffrey, like 70, 80 yards. I'm looking at that.
Okay,
all right,
I can see that.
Let's see what we got here.
If we can do yards, me and Sean can hop on this board. I'll switch out.
What are you thinking? Because Devontae Smith, we got 3 receptions minus 580, 4 receptions minus 230. Then once we get to 5 is when we get plus odds, plus 100 for 5 receptions.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. I want to do 3 for 70. What would 3 and 70 be? I'm looking at 3 and 70.
70 is going to be plus 200 odds here.
I'll do that. Let's do that. Because
70.
Not bad. Pretty good.
The more I think about it, guys, as we've been talking, great show, by the way. Love this show. Love the energy from you guys. The more I've been thinking about it, man, I think And I don't want to be on the hypocritical side, but I have a feeling this is gonna be one of those air games, man. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just feel like that's why I'm hitting the over. I'm hitting the high over though. I'm doing like the 29-28, but I'm thinking of some weird score like that. But I'm thinking like, Sam, let me ask you, Jalen Hurts. I think he might have to step his passing game up, man, and read them zone defenses and pick the pockets and do a little guard and do a little.
I mean, he could do that. I think he could definitely do that.
Y'all remember that touchdown pass in the Super Bowl a couple years ago when I think he rolled out left and he launched one in the back of the end zone over the left shoulder to AJ.
AJ fooled him though. He made them boys look silly on two of them. He faked like he was about to catch it early, and he's like, gotcha. Caught him.
Yo, if we hit this line, if we hit this one, so we got an 8-legger for you. If we hit one, bro,
lay it for him.
The podcast is getting a little bit. We're getting a little upgrade. We might have to upgrade them and Buzzsprout account. We might have to do a little upgrade on that channel because I'm gonna run through this 8-legger and we gonna end it here with the Camden. We're gonna call this the MSD special.
Let's get it.
We got over 48.5 total points.
Yes.
We got Saquon Barkley as an anytime touchdown scorer. We got Noah Gray, 2 receptions. We got Kansas City winning this game, money line. We got A.J. Brown, 70 yards plus. We got Mahomes, 25 rushing yards. We got Jalen, 40 rushing yards. And then we're going to end that off with Mr. Devontae Smith with 70. These odds is over 15,000. We're talking crazy. So we're gonna drop. I'm gonna drop 5 on that for approximate $800 payout on that, and we're just gonna leave. And we're gonna leave it.
You know what we're doing, baby.
And if we hit that, it's a happy Super Bowl. Besides that, guys, this has been absolutely amazing. I have a lot of fun doing it, and I want to reiterate something that Sean and Camden both said because I have a lot of friends, and I grew up with a lot of family and community who suffer a lot of addictive qualities. So it's definitely a disclaimer.
You know me. I'm in recovery.
Very specifically, y'all should spend what you have. Like, there's no shame in dropping 50 if you have 50. Right. But just encouraging y'all to not go too crazy. Gambling isn't a joke, but it is a lot of fun and it adds a lot of energy to the game. And I think I got a little bit of bread to spend. I've been saving it. You know what I mean? I got a little nest egg I'm sitting on.
Yes,
we worked hard for this. We worked hard to get to where we at, y'all. So
yes, sir.
That's all the parlays, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel like before we log off here, I just want to talk about some score predictions, winner predictions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got our special guest too. We want his insights too. I'll start it off over here, guys. Wabiki up in here. I'm going, of course. Fly, Eagles, fly, everybody. Eagles about to win this one. But you know what's crazy? My score prediction? We lost 38-35 3 years ago. I'm going 38-35. We going to win this time. Eagles going to win 38-35, guys, over here. Let's go.
All right. It's your boy Camden Lee, Mr. Club Paradise. I've been rooting for my squad, my team, my champion since the beginning of the season, since the beginning of this podcast. And I might have to go 25-13 Chiefs. Wow. It's going to be a low scoring game. I'm nervous, but I think that's the only way the Chiefs win. If not, it's going to be a long day for your boy. I still think we hit the over, but I'm a little nervous. I got a text message that my normal spot that I usually sit at for the Super Bowl is not going to be there. So the juju is already off. So I'm a little nervous. But I still think we're taking the dub.
All right.
I'm going to have to hit y'all with 28-24 total.
Ooh.
I think a tightly contested match. I do see some points going up, and I do see the ball getting aired out. I think Saquon gets into the end zone, and if not Saquon, we're seeing a push-tush from your boy Jalen from like a goal-to-go situation. Not sure if we're going to see a 60-yarder ripped off, but I will say big respect to Philadelphia because they melted down at the end of last year, and they didn't do that this year. So I have more confidence in them. And with that being said, it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs are hard to bet against in a situation like this. So I'm going to go 28-24 Kansas City to be the first three-peat of the modern era.
Wow, Mr. Michael John.
Well, it's gonna be 2 for 2. Listen, man, like I don't know, man. I just have a feeling it's Philly's time, man, and with this. And I like I said earlier, I like a crazy score, 29-28 Philly. I think, yeah. I hope I parlay with us. Brothers don't get bad because I got to do the pregame show on Sunday. But it could change by then, But no, man, I've been telling people because all jokes aside, all this other stuff with the Taylor Swift, the politics, all this bullshit. I'm not into all that, man. I'm just looking at the game itself. I'm just a stat nerd. I'm a gambling nerd. It's very careful because I don't gamble what I don't have. But I just like the numbers. I like the defense of Philly, and I just think Kansas City's been playing with fire all year. I know it's Magic Pat. I know it's all that, but I just think Philly has that. We'll get this one. 29-28 Philly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got all them predictions going. We got two for 2, huh? 2 Chiefs, 2 Eagles.
Hey, Sam, do you mind? And a shameless plug, and the only way I'm plugging it because my boy Mike John is heavily involved in this. He's heavily involved in my team. My brother, your brother Sonny's heavily involved in it.
Yes, sir.
The album will be out next Friday on all streaming platforms.
Yes,
Valentine's
sir.
Day. Heartfelt history, fire. We've been working on it for what, 2 years, Mike? 2 years we've been doing this?
Yep.
And we worked hard on it, put it together. The only reason why I'm plugging it because our brother Mike's on it, and I know y'all will let me plug it anyway.
Sir.
It will be out next Sunday, man, and we worked hard on it, man. I appreciate you guys. And I want you guys to come on parlay with us. It might be 2 at a time, however you want to do it. I'll get y'all info from Mike, man. It's been a pleasure, and I love this show. I do. And I love the energy, man. It's been fun.
Yes, sir.
You're always welcomed on here, bro.
Yes,
Heartfelt
sir.
History, mixed and mastered, produced by the family, RCR affiliates.
Yes,
Your boy
sir.
Melk. Shout out Melk.
Mel
Shout out
too,
Sonny.
Mel too.
Mel, Sonny.
Shout out. Oh, so
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Fire
it. Showing
project,
love.
fire album. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the love, guys.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, Sean, for hopping onto this pod, and we'd love to have you here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
anytime, man. Anytime, bro. I'm an NBA guy too, even though I'm a little bit down on the NBA and the way they're doing things. I got a little parlay going tonight. But it's just like I'm with Cam, man. Football's over. I am a baseball guy too. I watch hockey. I watch them all, but football's
We'll love to have
over.
you for baseball too and basketball. Let's get it.
So
Let's get it.
whenever you guys want me on, I'm here. I love to be on here and there. My schedule's kind of crazy because I'm in school, work, and all that. But I definitely could come once in a while here and there, and I hope you guys come. Come on my show.
Of course,
Love you.
we'll love to. We'll love to.
Again, you know what I mean? We had Sean Doe, host of Parlay with us. I mean, it's just been an amazing time. Just being with him in the MSD RCR Presents crew. Like we're just that's just who we are. We like to bring everybody in. We like to bring the family in, and we like to do things. We're men of many talents. We just make it poppy. You know what we do. YBK, do you have any last regards before you send us off on the Super Bowl weekend?
I just want to say, guys, Super Bowl 59 is going to be on Sunday, February 9th at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, everybody. MSD Sports, RCR Presents MSD Sports, episode 16. My name is Sam at YBK up in here. We got Michael John at Michael John DeStefano. We got Camden over here, Mr. at Club Paradise. We got Sean Doe here. Thank you so much for our special guest, Parlay with us. And that was episode 16, y'all. I will see y'all in the next pod. Peace.
They not like us. They not like us.
Yes, sir.